Welcome to the Bucher and Friends podcast, co-starring 10-year NFL veteran and Super Bowl champion, Will Blackman.
Manning from the end zone. He throws, and a deflect away, and it is picked off by Will Blackman, the former Giant.
Tim Dwight watches it hit, bounces, picks it up at the 10, slips a defender, fumbles the football. It's up for grabs. It's covered in the end zone by Will Blackman for a Green Bay touchdown.
And now, here is your host,
Let's send it over to Ric Bucher.
Ric Bucher.
Welcome to another episode of Bucher and Blackman, subsidiary of Bucher and Friends, part of the United WeCast Network. I'm Ric Bucher. You can see me on FS1, you can read me on Bleacher Report, and you can follow me on Twitter at Ric Bucher. He is Will Blackman, NFL vet, Super Bowl champ. You can find him on Twitter at Will Blackman. All right.
Really quick.
So, what?
You know, I always got something in the beginning, right?
Yes, you do. Always. Yes.
So I've been thinking so I play basketball Tuesday nights. You know that. Everybody knows that. And it's,
anybody who
it's
listens
cool.
to the podcast is well aware of that. Yes.
It's cool. It's competitive. But I did get asked earlier this year if I wanted to partake in that professional flag league that
Really?
they televise. Yeah. Like a couple of guys hit me out to join their team. And I'm like, man, if I did that though, I would have to train because I'm not trying to be out there getting myself messed up. So I'm like, what? But also, This is new. I got an inquiry for the XFL.
You did?
I did. So I'm like, man, it'd be fun. It'd be fun, but I don't know.
And they have a team in L.A., right?
They do have a team in L.A., and I know the head coach, too.
Who's the L.A.? I know Jonathan Hayes is the St. Louis coach. Bob Stoops is the Dallas coach. Who's the L.A. coach?
Winston Moss.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I should have known that.
Why?
I just should have. I looked up their head coaches the other day. Jeff Zorn is in that mix.
Jim.
What did I say?
Jeff.
Oh, Jeff. Yeah, Jim Zorn. I know it's Jeff. Pep Hamilton.
Pep Hamilton. I think he's the DC coach.
Kevin Gilbride.
Kevin Gilbride. I was with him in New York.
So,
Do you know Jonathan Hayes well? Do you know him at all?
I met him because I got to know his son Jackson, who got drafted by the Pelicans, who was the most exciting player that I saw at Summer League. That dude has got some bounce.
He was not messing around.
No, it was he actually, I talked to him afterward, and when he slapped the backboard and got the tee, see because he was traded by the Hawks. He was actually the Hawks draft pick. He had to wait a couple days for that deal to be completed and to sign his deal, and as a result, he couldn't play right away, and he was just frothing. And so he told the coaches, he goes, "Look, I might get a tech the first time I dunk the ball." And indeed, he did. So what are you thinking? You got all these offers. You got people that are trying to pull you away from the podcast. What?
Oh, no, the podcast lives on, my friend.
Okay, good.
Podcast never dies,
wanted
man.
to make sure protecting our own here.
Say if I did, I can give you updates.
Boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground.
XFL updates. I'd look forward to that. But seriously though, are you considering any of these options? Would you play?
No idea. Brand new. No idea.
When do you have to make a decision?
I don't know.
So
all I said was I never said like, oh yeah.
Someone just told me the most powerful word you can say is no. And my thought was, okay, when you say no, like then what happens? What if they just go, okay, moving on?
Then that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. I guess it depends on why you're saying no. All right. What was the awe? Don't tell me you just saw the video of the little puppy climbing into the babies.
No, I'm not all like that.
Oh. All right, well, having you watch videos and me waiting for a response is not good podcast work.
I'm not watching videos. It's authentic. Rolling. It's authentic.
What was the awe?
Oh, your boy Dave from Fox just hit me up.
Oh, Dave Quello. Yeah. He is a good follow on Twitter. He's sneaky good follow on Twitter.
Sneaky. Even his image, even his profile picture is sneaky. Right?
Yes, exactly. All right. We have a lot to get to, and we haven't gotten to any of it yet.
We do, yeah.
So first of all, I got to ask you, since we're on the Will Blackmon tour, Rhode Island. You go back to Rhode Island. You hold some camps. I'm watching the reaction on social media. It's like the favorite son has returned home. The prodigal son has returned home. And what was that like for you? When was the last time you'd been back to Rhode Island?
I go back every year around that time.
Okay. What is it like for you to go home? Because I know what it's like for me. I wonder what it's like for you.
It's cool because I live on the West Coast. All my family's back east, so it's the one chance for me to go home. And I always miss, where I grew up. I always miss that. Rhode Island's so small, so I have like a memory at every corner pretty much. So it's cool to go back there. The high school I went to, it was funny when my wife and I were first together. She didn't understand why I was close with my former professors. She was like, "What do you mean your teacher came over to drop something off like that? Like that's super weird. We're adults now."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, that's the kind of school I went to. It was a community type of school. It was a family. So I love going back there. Everyone's still there. I'm best friends with all the teachers, and my brother's still there, my sister, my dad. So it's just cool to come home and reconnect."
Well, wait a minute. You had professors in high school?
I mean, yeah, we had some professors. We become professors. We did.
We didn't have any professors.
I went to a college prep school.
I did. I went to a public college prep school too.
Public.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But you went to Dartmouth.
Yes, I did. I ended up. They were filling a Midwestern quota, and they needed a soccer player from Ohio. That's how I ended up getting it. A soccer playing, piano playing Midwestern boy. That's what they needed. Okay. So, the thing for me is when I go back, first of all, living in California, the whole kind of culture is different.
It is different.
Yes. And that's always kind of a shock to the system. And everything just feels so small.
Right. I feel like I never left.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Not that I never left, but like nothing has truly changed, So when I go back, I can go back to the same stores, the same owners are there. I can go back to the same place, the same people are still there doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Which is good, which I like when I visit it because it reminds me, but I wish people were more. Maybe that's because I'm in California. Everyone's so forward thinking and
yes.
There's a new building, there's a new store exactly.
Transformative, transactional, all of that stuff. Yeah, no, I agree 100%. All right. I want to get to, we touched a little bit on Summer League. Your impression of Zion Williamson with the little bit that we saw him before the earthquake hit.
I mean, I think he's as advertised. He's gonna be one of, if not, the most athletic guy on the court.
Okay.
Now it's gonna be a matter of teams are gonna start game planning him and try to get him frustrated and make him do something else. But I think stylistically he reminds me of Charles Barkley.
Well, and he took that to heart apparently because even his weight he was not in shape.
Right.
I've said it. My son had the line, which I've repeated several times, and I think this is the last time that I'll actually give him credit for it. Now I'm just going to start using it as my own. He said, Zion is not in basketball shape. He's a basketball shape, which I thought was
he's round.
Yes. Very clever line. But in fact, my son may have even said that I had him on the podcast a week or so ago.
He's been on a world tour since he got drafted.
Yeah, no. He's and probably didn't work out for the draft. Didn't have to work out for anybody. Did some one-on-ones.
That man knew he was going to be no one pick. Everybody knew it.
Exactly. So I get where he was out of shape. I also get where they shut him down right away because not only do you risk injury, but you also risk embarrassment and this is the number one pick and he's supposed to be great. And if he can't live up to that in Summer League because he's out of shape, then the pressure on him going into the season would be even greater, and it would be a negative for the Pelicans and their advertisement of having Zion. So I understand why they shut him down. Summer League has become interesting just because teams now, it used to be teams utilized it to really get their top picks ready. Now, it's not even that. Guys will come in and maybe play a game or two, and then they mothball them, and it's a matter of we're just filling out the rest of our roster. I almost feel as if, in some ways, it's more training for the coaches who get a chance to be head coaches and sit in that hot seat.
No, I agree. I agree. But that's what it is. I would say that simply because there were times in preseason where the head coach would give the keys to the coordinator, or he'll give the keys to an assistant. Like, hey, you call it this game. You call it this game. They train them,
Yep.
you know.
Yep.
Also, too, for basketball, something not only train your assistants, but you're also training the bottom of your bench, of your depth chart.
Right.
You know, you want to you get a true. You already know what the top guys can do. You know, and it's like, okay, let's see what they can do here. But you're really evaluating the other guys that you picked up.
I thought this was very smart of the San Antonio Spurs. They had a guy who was a 29-year-old point guard who's been playing overseas, played like 18 games with the Atlanta Hawks, but basically has been playing overseas. 29 is ancient for Summer League. But he was the consummate floor leader. He's only 6'1", 170 pounds or so, but he could get wherever he needed to on the floor. He could orchestrate everything. And I thought it was
he was seasoned, right?
Yeah, Josh Majette is his name. And he's an American, but has been playing overseas, was undrafted. But I thought it was so smart of the Spurs to have a guy who was a true floor general to be able to see what their other pieces could do. Because once you get to the regular season and you have Derek White or you have DeJounte Murray, you're going to have a guy in that position. To have somebody to see, okay, let's give them a real point guard. Let's not put them with a point guard who's trying to make his mark in Summer League as well. Let's use a guy that's going to mirror what they're going to play with if they make the roster. And then we'll get a sense of, can these guys play off a guy who knows what he's doing out there? I'll be interested to see if more teams do it, but I thought it was really clever of the Spurs to do that. Because the flip side is, you know, the Knicks got a lot of value out of having RJ Barrett play a lot of point guard. It was a great experience for him. And playing with Mitchell Robinson, and they get to know each other a little bit. But if you're looking at some of the other guys that you're trying to figure out, can they play? Well, playing with RJ Barrett while he's trying to figure out playing point guard, I'd say the same thing for Kobe White with the Chicago Bulls. Like, they're trying to figure out how to be NBA point guards. That limits really being able to see what other guys can do if they're playing with a high-level point guard. So I'll be interested to see moving forward if anybody follows the Spurs model, because I thought it was very advanced for them to take that approach. No surprise that San Antonio would have that. Speaking of San Antonio, Kawhi Leonard, we haven't had a chance to discuss this. Haven't really discussed it on the podcast a whole lot. And I wanted to approach it from this aspect. We've talked about him going to the Clippers, obviously. But it's more the recruiting Paul George and Paul George leaving Oklahoma City a year into signing a max deal that I'm curious about your view of. In context with a guy leaving one situation, going to another, players really, I mean, as overt as we've seen it, and Kawhi Leonard did this. He may have trumped LeBron James and LeBron James coordinating things, because LeBron was at least in concert with Pat Riley and Dwayne Wade and going to Miami. And then when he went back to Cleveland, it was making good with, well, that was a unique situation. He was going back because he had to make good with where he came from. What do you make of the power move that Kawhi Leonard made and Paul George joining and being and acquiescing to the power move that Kawhi Leonard wanted to make?
I feel like well Kawhi's always been making power moves, no pun intended, just like his career, what he's been doing. And I think the move for Paul George, I feel like he's always been trying to get back to LA. But I feel like he's one of those guys that I would like to beat LeBron.
Sure. No doubt.
I feel like he's in that category where I don't want to join him. I want to be able to defeat him.
Yeah.
And I feel like this was a situation where he wanted to do that.
Well, this goes back to a piece that I wrote midway through last season. Remember the one that had KD talking about the toxic environment?
Right. Like,
around LeBron.
And the fanboys and all that stuff.
Yes. And the essence of that piece was really about how LeBron's a victim of his own success and his own stardom, because anybody who goes to join him, if you win, it's because of LeBron. And if you lose, it's because of you. And you know as a comparable star that you're going in to be the second banana at best. And that guys just aren't willing to do that at this stage. And maybe they were never willing to do it. I mean, the only time it really happened is with Dwayne Wade, who they already had an existing relationship. Kyrie Irving was already in Cleveland. He didn't have a choice, and he left as soon as he could because he too didn't want to play in that shadow. And Kawhi Leonard, for all his success, doesn't cast the same shadow whatsoever. It's more of an equal platform.
You're right. I feel like the true competitors want to go do their own thing.
Yes. Well, but so here's the thing. Do you see that, whether it's KD following Kyrie to Brooklyn, or it's Paul George saying, yeah, Kawhi, I'll join you in LA with the Clippers, aren't they in a way kind of taking a back seat, whether they intend to or not? Aren't they being followers rather than leaders? You
can look at it as taking a back seat, or you can look at it as teaming up to defeat LeBron.
Yeah.
To make sure he never gets another title.
Yeah.
It's the mold now. It's what they want. It's like I always compare it to a new wave, in the NFL. Everyone now wants to get a young quarterback that can start right now, who's not expensive, and then they spend money elsewhere in the whole entire roster. That's kind of the new wave now. You got Baker Mayfield, you got Patrick Mahomes, you got all these quarterbacks. You got Goff still on his rookie deal. Wentz just got paid, but you got all these guys who are young and they can pay everybody else around them, and that's the wave that's going on right now. And I feel like right now it's NBA Jam in the NBA.
It is.
It's a 2-man game.
Yeah. How much recruiting is there in the NFL?
I would say there's not much, because players don't have much leverage.
Yeah.
It's not. You can say, you can help, it's more so like if there's a player that a team really, really wants. For example, the Redskins really wanted Josh Norman.
Okay.
And, they brought him in, and D'Angelo Hall took him around. Hung out with him, I mean, they ended up.
It's like a recruiting visit.
Yeah, they signed him early, but yeah, it's based on, hey, I'll help you get this guy here. As opposed to players hitting somebody else like, hey, come on, do this, And also depends where you are. It's very, very hard to tell a guy, hey, come join me in Green Bay.
Right. How much is there of players going to management, going to the GM, going to the coach and saying, hey, you should go get this guy. I worked out with this guy, or I know this guy from a previous situation, where you might have to go through the team to make it happen, but I mean, I don't know. The sense that I get is players don't have a whole lot of wherewithal to influence the decisions by a team. But I wonder if they did, there are situations where certain players can put a bug in management's ear, and it ends up resulting in a guy joining the band.
It's very, very difficult. I feel like it's funny. I've recommended like, hey, what about this guy? What about this guy when I play? And I feel like now that I'm outside the league, that I have my word is more powerful now that I'm not playing.
Huh.
I did. A player got released a couple of guys got released this offseason, and for example, I'll give you a name, DJ Swearinger. He got released.
Mm-hmm.
Two GMs text me right away. How was DJ? What do you think about him?
Right.
Well,
how much of that is because of why he got released? Like
a lot of it is why they want to know the person. Yeah. So it's like, if I want to know the person, let me hit somebody up who knows him personally.
Right.
So
if DJ Swearinger doesn't get a job, are we blaming Will Blackman or?
He has a job. He went back to Arizona.
Oh, that's right. I take that back. You were right.
Yeah,
you're right.
Nothing to do with me, man. I'll try to put that on me, bro.
So you took care of him.
I didn't do anything. Nah, he went back to where he was. I didn't take care of him. He knew the GM there.
Okay, so you had no influence on that.
I had nothing to do with that at all.
No check is in the mail when it comes.
No check is in the mail.
Fair enough. All right.
But I did speak highly of him.
Do you unequivocally like that NBA players, are controlling things the way they are, or is there? I mean, Paul George signing the max, pledging allegiance to Oklahoma City and Russ Westbrook. And then the second a better situation comes along, he's rolling out and he's going back to LA. Is there any part of you that has an issue with that?
Hell no.
Okay.
Welcome to the business of sports.
Yeah.
I learned, and I found out very, very early, that the organization is going to do what's best for the organization, no matter who you are, no matter what you've done. Don't care. It doesn't matter what you've done.
What was the lesson? What was the first lesson in that you had?
I can't pinpoint one in particular off the top of my head, but I just know that there have been situations where, if there's a contract dispute, despite how good the person was for the team, despite how, loyalty or whatever they did in the community, how much people love them, it's like, hey, financially, we want to move on to this different situation. We're ready to go ahead and do something else. Regardless, we have plans.
Okay.
Despite, I mean, we can say the Favre situation. They had plans. They were ready to play Aaron. We just went to the NFC Championship game with Favre. And yeah, he threw a pick. We lost. And they were like, all right, we're ready for Aaron. He's been waiting. We're ready to go. Move on. They weren't wrong.
That wasn't a result of the pick, though. I would think that plan was already in place, regardless of how far you guys went or what happened.
It wasn't in the result of the pick. I think they were hoping that we were going to win the Super Bowl so that he can go and run to the sunset after winning two.
Right.
So the plan was already in place, pick or not.
Yeah.
I
feel like so much of this that's the case, whether it's the NFL or the NBA.
I like players, but I appreciate players for having power. I would say, one of the power moves was, back in the early 90s when Deion was a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
He was highly sought after. He can go wherever he wanted. And then I look at, actually, what was interesting is that, let me change that story. That's what I thought when he left San Francisco. But I did an Under Armour camp with him in March, and he told a story where he thought he was going to come back and get an extension with the Niners after that season. Here's my point. They just went to the Super Bowl. He won Defensive Player of the Year in like 9 games or wherever he played.
Right.
And he said he found out he was out eating. He didn't get a call or anything about a contract. He looked on TV and some guy was wearing 21. That's how he found out he was not going back.
21 where?
On the Niners.
I know, but I mean, in an OTA or? Yeah,
in like a mini camp or whatever, OTA or something like that.
Wow.
Somebody was out there weighing his number.
Wow.
And that's when he found out he's not going back to San Francisco. Wow. He said I couldn't believe it.
That is
no
crazy.
Call, right? No call. That was his best season ever.
There has to be more to that story.
No,
there has to be.
He said I didn't get a call or nothing, and not anything. He said he said, "You damn right I went to Dallas."
If it was anybody else, I would say, "Wow." With Deion, I gotta think he said something, he did something where.
What? Like what though?
I don't know. But
you come and deliver.
Come on.
You come and
No.
deliver?
I know that. But if you just hand his number to somebody else, that is, we've moved on and we planned on moving on. We made it, we're sizing up our roster and what it's going to cost and all that.
Okay. I don't know how they felt or whatever they did, but he took it as the ultimate disrespect. Why he's like, I'll go to Dallas. He said, I had no idea. Now, it's different. For example, recently, the Felix kid who just signed with Atletico Madrid, when they signed him, they immediately gave him Griezmann's number.
Right.
Because Griezmann left and went to Barcelona.
Right. Well, that was a statement.
That was a statement. Yeah, F you. I'm going to give your number. I don't care what you've done. I'm giving your number away.
Right.
Immediately.
Right.
Because you're going to go to Barca. Crazy.
Good point. Thank you for mixing a little bit of soccer in there.
Yeah,
well done. By the way, just as an aside, I started off the podcast by talking about my son, and we're going to wrap up by talking about my daughter. She has a driver's license. She is driving, and here's the thing. Here's the story behind it. So, I took her to get the test, right? And she was so nervous. So we went early, and we were driving around the neighborhood, and I took her out to drive along the ocean, and she started to turn the wrong way down a one-way street. And that really freaked her out. I said, look, you caught it in time. You recognized you were going the wrong way. There was no signage that would tell you that it was a one-way street, but it had the exact opposite effect. It only made her more nervous right before she took her test, because she was terrified that she was not going to pass it, and she desperately wanted to be able to drive on her own. So, as did her brother, because those two are like, they're in cahoots a little bit right now, is the sense that I get. But in any case, we go for her to take the test, and we have an appointment at 2:00, and it's 2:25, and we're still waiting for the instructor to show up to jump in the car and take her. And so, and it's hot down in Santa Cruz, Capitola, and we got the windows down, and I go, this is bleeped up. And just as I say that, I look out the window, and the instructor is right there. And I'm thinking, God damn it. So I see him, and I go, do you need me to get out of the car? And he's like, yeah. So I get it. I'm like, there's an attitude I'm getting off of the instructor. And maybe
absolutely
heard what I just said, and I feel bad. But you made an appointment at 2:00. It's 2:25. Come on now. In any event, and it's the DMV. You're not supposed to be happy at the DMV. So
yes, you are. Actually, change it up.
I actually found the DMV very entertaining. Anyway, I get out of the car, and I'm trying to be gracious. I'm like, should I just wait inside? What do you need me to do? He goes, yeah. He goes, you Rick? I go, yeah. He goes, big fan. and the way he said it was, I used to be a big fan, but after hearing what you had to say, I think you're blankety blank. Anyway, so then my daughter is thinking, oh, great, Dad, you screwed it up. Now the instructor's going to be, he's either as a fan, he's going to make sure that I pass, or because of what you said, there's no way that I'm going to pass. Fraught with tension and drama. In any event, she got her license. Now she's rolling around on her own. And
why so much drama with you?
I don't know. You know what? I need a vacation. It's not always this way. I think you can attest to that. For the better part of the year, it's not that way, or it hasn't been that way. It's just lately, last couple months, a lot of drama.
I'm telling you, you and Ryan.
Oh! Don't put me in that camp.
You guys are in the same camp, dude.
No, the only reason that I have received any sort of grief, go back and check it. The grief that I received because I said KD was going to leave the Warriors, and he was going to New York. Guess what? He went to New York.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You guys are he didn't go. He was not the team you thought.
Look, originally back in April, I said, and I was asked,
do you think it's a
done deal?
You
That
and
was
Ryan,
April.
but like you guys are so petty.
You can look in May, you can look in June. Anytime I was asked on Undisputed or on Colin's show or you name it, and they asked me where he's going, I said, he's going to New York. And I remember Skip Bayless asking this question clearly. He said, which team? And I said, I don't know. It's a battle between the two. As it was down to the wire. Down to the wire, KD was still trying to recruit Kawhi Leonard to go to New York with him because he knew New York was not going to sign Kyrie, and KD didn't want to go anyplace by himself. Kawhi was trying to recruit KD.
Listen, you don't got to explain yourself. That's what I mean. You and Ryan, you guys get so sensitive to explain yourselves. He had a tweet today. He said, I'd rather be unpopular and respected for speaking my truth than to be liked. If a friend can't handle your truth, they were never a friend to begin with.
I did see that.
He's so sensitive.
I am not sensitive in
You
public.
are sensitive.
I know, just with you.
Just with me?
Yeah. I feel like I need to explain myself.
Why'd you have to point like that, like a grumpy old man, too?
I just went like this. I just pointed. What are you drinking?
It's orange juice out of a Ninja Turtle cup.
I'm used to usually seeing you with a wine goblet and Merlot.
Speaking of wine,
Yes.
NFL wine guy.
What?
That's me. I have a new handle on Twitter and Instagram called NFL Wine Guy.
Okay.
That is I am now a personal wine concierge. So if there are anybody out there who are looking for high-end wine, I am your guy. I can get it for you. That's legit.
That's NFL Wine Guy, WINE, and we're going to get Ryan Hollins a new handle, and it's going to be NBA Wine Guy, WHINE.
Damn slander on the Bucher and Blackman
Yes,
pod.
I had to because he's not here, so I can slander him. All right. That does it for this episode. I think we've covered enough in this episode.
Yeah, so this weekend I'll be taking off. I will be back though in time to record.
Okay.
But I've been invited to coach at Deion Sanders Prime 21 camp in Dallas.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. It's that's my other idol besides Barry Sanders. It's him. So speaking of Deion, I'll be hanging out with him. But yes, on our next pod I want to talk about these Madden ratings.
Yes.
Look at all the players complaining and going crazy about it. I think Keenan Allen might have the funniest one.
Yeah.
These guys are pissed.
We will definitely hit that, but we have to do it because I'm going on vacation next week for a couple days. So we have to figure out when we can get that in. But we will figure that out, and we will hit that. We will hit that.
And I'll be on the herd Thursday.
Oh, making an FS1 appearance. My man, Will Blackman.
Yeah.
Love it. Tune in. That's Thursday. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Check him out. All right. In the next podcast, it will be another episode. You've asked for it. You get it. Another episode of Bucher Friendless. And I'll give you some insight into what is going on with the max signage and the issues that have been created for a host of teams. You're a fan. You're excited because your team signed a guy to a max contract. Just because he signed a max contract doesn't make him a max player. And if you look around, max contracts and the players that have got them have not been exactly in favor for the most part. We'll dig into that subject as well as get into some of the behind-the-scenes stuff on the KD injury and what went down with the Warriors. I've got some fresh info on that front. All of that will be in the next podcast. Don't forget to rate us. Plenty of you have, and we certainly appreciate it. iTunes, wherever you get your podcast, leave us a rating. And then if you want to be eligible for prizes, screenshot that review and send it to @BucherFriends, and you will be eligible. In the meantime, for Will and myself, as always, thanks for listening.